What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. Man, I got so much luck, I stumbled into a second-hand store and ran into a giant digital camera sale. Well, not just digital, any kind of camera that you can think of. And what they do is they save all the donations they get, and then once a year, they just make a giant sale. Definitely got all kinds of things over here. You got your standard digital on the right, more powerful on the left. Whole bunch of tripods. Of course, the tripods were missing the screw attachment piece. All kinds of lenses I'll never be able to use. And this thing, Sony. Yes, an interesting camcorder. Actually, I ended up picking that one up. Turns out almost anything Sony is pretty much collectible. Here's a cheaper version of that one that I just showed you. And yeah, lots going on. I'm just kind of walking around with the camera looking like an idiot here, but man, so much cool stuff. I ended up picking this one up too, also Sony, so also worth collector's value. I know some collectors of this kind of stuff, I gotta say. $25, man. I remember back in the day, how old was I, like 15, and my buddy had one of those. I was so into it, man. I probably would have gotten into filmography or something like that if I could have only afforded a camera. At least I had a Game Boy camera. Lots of kibbles and bits here. Nothing I really know too much about, and some things that I could use, but maybe not exactly use, but keep on the shelf for 5 years and then throw out after I don't. Then immediately after I throw it out, it turns out I'll need something on that. You know how it goes. But yeah, once again, lots of different cameras. Reasonable price for the most part. The sale started at 10, and I got there at 1. And this is interesting. Look at that. There's a hard drive inside this thing. And they pretty much boast, wow, it's a giant 60 gigabyte hard drive in here. Of course, this is from 2011. 2011, yeah. It actually takes a micro SD card and advertises a direct upload to YouTube. Yippee. This one ended up being from the high school, the local high school. Of course, it's ancient. Kibbles and bits over here. We got, I'm pretty sure that was actually a projector. I should have opened that up and had a look. I really want to find some 8mm tapes. Kodak guts. Of course, up there we have free manuals. All kinds of Kodak paper. And that's a tracer. You turn it on, you can trace stuff. I'd take a look in here, see if I can find any gold. Wish I knew more about the older cameras. I don't think old cameras are actually worth much. Actually, I think old cameras are kind of the kind of thing where most of the people who actually collected them are aging so much that they don't even have the kind of money they used to have, or there just aren't so many of them these days putting money into the market. And of course, we have some. Okay, this particular one took a CD, a disc, and I've never seen the disc before, but I always thought that was pretty cool. Of course, tripods. You can't have a camera sale without a few tripods. I bought 2 of them, and I broke one before I even made it in the house. Cheap stuff, but what can you do? Yeah, anyways, first up we have the JVC Evrio. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyways, it's the only one that actually produces in digital, and of course you open it up. It says .mov. It's got a micro SD card in the bottom. I'm really surprised to see that. I'm pretty sure it can only take about 16 gigs though. Interesting, this is one that boasts an internal hard drive, 60 gigabytes. Wow! The zoom is actually very impressive on this thing. It's an optical zoom, not a digital. So nice little thing. I think I got this for 20. Anyways, next up we got the Sony HandyCam high 8 video tight, and this thing, man, I remember definitely playing with one of these when I was little. This thing has a night vision. Geez, what else does it have? It has a pretty good zoom, but it is mostly digital. This is the kind of thing that you could use to take video off of a high 8 tape and then transfer it to digital. This is something that you definitely use for that. Again, it's really collectible and pretty cool hardware. Definitely not cheap hardware. Definitely nice hardware. From Jesus, thing's got to be about 20 years old now. You got video out right there on the side. Good stuff. Good stuff. Next up, we got a Sony HandyCam. I've never actually seen a form factor like this before in the wild. So, yes, definitely a bit new to me. You got your ocular viewfinder there. And of course, you press the button and it pops the tape out. Interesting. You press the button, then it has tools there. It'll So it'll open it up, but then automatically it spits the tape out. It makes a bit of a noise. I think one of the mechanisms are getting kind of old there, but this is the kind of thing that I don't really like too much because it's another thing that could go wrong. Yes, it is very cool, don't get me wrong. Very, very, very cool, very sleek. But it just seems like another thing, another belt that has to be maintained, another motor that has to be maintained. Anyways, the viewfinder on this thing's really cool. I'm pretty sure it came with this regularly, but that way you can also see the view on it from the bottom. But it's good to have something to block the light from the left and right and on top in case you're trying to view what you're shooting in broad daylight in a lot of sun. Of course, we get videos on these. There are videos. That's actually me taking a video of my wife, and she really enjoyed it. She thoroughly enjoyed it. Yep, good stuff. So all the cameras that I got ended up coming with footage, and if I was to repair a computer, I wouldn't ever go through anyone's files. I'd never do that. I'm very strongly against that, but I thought it was a little bit different in this experience. I've had a little bit of fun going through it. There were some family pictures, some cat pictures, some cat videos, and what better place for cat videos than the internet? But what really got me thinking was a friend of mine had sent me a picture of his cat, so I sent him a picture of this random cat. And he told me, you know, that cat's probably dead now, and that got me on going through a series of thoughts. This cat was alive in 2011. I bet the owners also passed away. I bet the owner of many of these cameras have passed away, especially the Sony ones. Because when you look at the video on that, there's definitely a lot of older people on it. And the owners, once they show themselves, also look to be very old. It's probably a situation where everything was just thrown away when they were done with it. And it got me thinking about, well, this whole situation's got me thinking about data. How long should we have this data? If we take a picture, we think we'll have it forever. But we still need to upkeep that. We need to make sure that picture doesn't get wet. We need to make sure it's in a good spot. And these days, I've noticed a lot of antique pictures, especially ending up in antique stores. We think we have these to be with us forever, but it seems like we have to change the format every 5 years. Every 5 years, we have to transfer it into some new format, or we'll lose it. It's a constant battle against entropy. And at the same time, it's just interesting how this stuff can be lost in the wind, like dust in the wind, tears in the rain, you know, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of us take this video thinking that we'll have it forever, but again, data rot, data degradation, lack of upkeep, lack of being transferred to a different kind of format, all this stuff is going to go. Geez, it's probably about 200 years all of the pictures that we ever take will either be archived or it'll be gone, and I have a feeling about 60% of it's just going to be straight up gone. So that's it from me. Nev from Nev's Tech. Like to subscribe if you like this stuff. Always appreciate it. And have a good one, folks. Take care of each other.
Okay, I think it's recording. And what I'm recording here is just I'm standing on the what I call the southwest deck of my house. That's the neighbour's house there. This is my door going into my house here. And then turn around, and that's my lilacs. That's a white one and a purple one and a pink one. They're all looking rather lovely. And that's my little garden shed there, and these are the steps that go down to the path. And then out there, of course, you've got the really, really beautiful cherry tree, flowering cherry and the flowering apple. It's lovely. I've been working in the garden, and well, it actually looks worse than it really did before I started anyway. And I'm working on it, I'm getting it done. I'll go down the steps carefully because I'm looking through this thing. So here we go down the steps, and we're now down on the grass level, and we're going to have a look. That's my garden all the way around there, and there's my gazebo, and it's rather an interesting structure. It has two bits actually, and one with a kind of a pointy thing on it. Yeah, so when the weather gets really good, we go out and we sit in the gazebo. And then you can see where I just came from. That's the porch over there where I just walked down the steps. And that's just off that rounded window, that's a living room, and the window upstairs is my bedroom. And I'll take you for a walk around That's Mary, my neighbour's house. We're there. This is us coming round and up onto the little deck beside the round things. His name is the gazebos. And it's a bit of a mess up here, but I've got a nice clematis coming there. That's the back door to the garage. That's the back door to the house, and that's the rest of the house there. And then if we go up this way, I've been working in this flower bed. You can see it's kind of a, well, quite a mess, but anyway. And here's the gate, which has fallen off its hinges. And we're walking towards Fergus Street. Fergus Street is out there, and that's my next door neighbour's house across the road. It's rather lovely. It's a very large mansion-y kind of place, very beautiful. And turning this way, there's my front porch right there, my house, the side of it. And if I walk up this way, I can show you the front door. Well, I've got a couple of front doors actually, but this is the one that we use. This is the door that we use. We come in this way. That's how you get into my house in there. And that's the garage. There, it's got pretty little curly cues. And then, what you can see over here, this is the old part of the house, and the front porch, and the front yard. A couple of stories high. And the new addition, of course, is all at the back. You can't see it from here. That's it. That's where I live, and then you can sort of see down the road there. This is Fergus Street. It's an old street, lots of old houses and big trees. It's a pretty street.